Now we're going into the final round of our daily at 3-0. So we lost the roll, and here to see what we're playing. Quite a solid opening hand. Chancellor to slow them down a bit, and we can still play the Fume Spitter, and we have the Hippogriff, so all quite acceptable. We will not be mulliganing, and we'll reveal the Chancellor. Playing red, he has tons of options to deal with our guys, but red also has a lot of 1 toughness creatures, so it might still work out in our favor. Glenhawk Idol also a very solid draw. And also a lot less likely to be hit by any of the sorcery speed removal, like Blister Stick, Shaman, and the like. To go ahead and kill that right away, leaving a clear path for our Quarter Paladin. So only 3 damage instead of 5, but still better than letting him accelerate and costing us our quarter. So it'll be attack with Paladin, play Glenhawk Idol and pass, and hope we draw land. Swamp Plains. Plains would actually probably be our best draw, as awkward as that is. If we hit our upper end, we have some very powerful cards backing us up, and of course the ability to return our Fume Spitter and Glenhawk Idol if it dies, or any other combination of creatures. And of course our Hippogriff can also get back the Glenhawk Idol, so it will be a much more likely to become a blocker than it would otherwise. So again, our opponent is taking an incredibly long time, but did not miss his land drop. Arrest, how awkward. Could be worse, better than him putting out a threat. So we'll just activate our Glenhawk Idol and swing in. Again, swamp and another land probably be pretty ideal. Having Enslave back up is just quite a comfort. But at this point we're in no real rush and there's no real pressure, so... Titan Forge is a very awkward card Such a huge mana investment for normally so little. Um, Actually going to play the Hippogriff instead of attacking, even though we with its ability, just for the increased damage, and in case we draw a swamp or another 2 lands. So opponent had no effect. We'll activate our Glenhawk Idol and swing with both. We'll most likely put a charge counter on Titan Forge, and we'll play our Inquisitor Exarch. Oh, Artillerized. That's fair. Not a huge loss still. So, Inquisitor Exarch still the option, and we'll of course have our opponent lose 2 life. And again, hoping for a swamp in case he plays anything else a little more intimidating. So, wholly irrelevant. We'll Violent Wound just to remove it as a blocker so he doesn't prevent any more damage. Activate our Glenhawk and swing again. Additionally, we're going to Remember the Fallen on probably just our Hippogriff. As awkward as that is, he seems to have very few ways to deal with flyers. And 1 game 1. On to the next. So our first side in will of course still be Spined Thopter, and Inquisitor Exarch will come out. There seems to be no other changes. As usual, our main deck is pretty solid. Soul Parry, unfortunately, is only damage from creatures, even though it's not just combat damage, but ability damage is irrelevant. So we're probably going to go just with this. To another very awkward hand, but on the draw. Going to keep because of Kilnwalker, but I do not like this hand. So Blinding Soul Eater makes it a little bit better, but we're still short on mana. 2 turns to draw land. A swamp would be really ideal here. Unfortunately, we missed. Anything that can prevent your opponent from accelerating tends to be a better time. And a hit for 1, and another Plains. We're going to lead in with the Kilnwalker because it attacks for more damage, and he would not attack in with the Gold Mirror into the Blinding Soul Eater without an effect. So still badly in need of a swamp, or 2 more specifically. We're unable to play via Quarter Paladin because he would die to the Fume Spitter. And we're giving our opponent more and more options here. Hopefully we find a swamp before he manages to do much with Embersmith, because Embersmith has a huge blowout potential. And we just continue to attack with the Kilnwalker. Mortipod certainly makes this awkward now. Able to kill our Blinding Soul Eater or our Kilnwalker with a stack of abilities, and most likely the Soul Eater will die. Oh, with a Pit Driller and then the Fiend as well. So, quite unfortunate, but he's now down to 1 card in hand, so hopefully we can recover rather handily. And we'll of course just tap his guy, just as a means of preventing some damage, since we're losing the Soul Eater anyway. And we'll take 1 and gain 1. finally got our first swamp, which we will lead in directly, I believe. We're going to attack with the Kilnwalker and hope he blocks so that we can violent wound it, causing his guy to die, and still Razor Hippogriff getting Blackguard blinding. So that was a pretty bad misplay, but hopefully it will end up being irrelevant. We'll only need one swamp for enslaved mana, and also having the Sentinel as backup is quite nice. And no reason to attack because it would only be 2 power. I do not want to use Enslave here. I feel there's going to be better options. So, going to simply try to attack with the Vault Scourge, and he's going to kill it in response. Not really a big deal. You stay equipped as a result. And we can equip the Kiln Fiend to get in, but I think we're better off saving to play the Seminole. I'm now very glad he had to artillerize using his Titan Forge as opposed to something else, but so he goes to the end of his turn, we play our Sentinel, and there's no need to tap one of his guys, so right. The Life Staff gets moved over to the Kilnwalker and attack at that angle now, so hopefully we'll be sneaking in some damage slowly now. Getting the trade is a little surprising there, but very much appreciated either way. And now we'll equip there, and we'll play the Paladin just so that we have... He's forced to make a decision. And if he fails to equip here, we probably just win. Yeah, so now we enslave, and we go 4-0 on my first recorded sealed, so... So overall, a solid event. Rather glad that my first attempt at recording a video ended in a 4-0, even though the pool wasn't terribly strong. Just goes to show that in Scar's block, if you're aggressive enough early, and if you have enough evasion, it's pretty hard to handle. Only Only a single game loss, I believe, and that was first round to no lands, which is unfortunate, but probably should have mauled. Um, every other keep was pretty solid. I had a few minor misplays, like failing to properly equip the staff when I got a message. From now on, obviously going to play with all messengers closed. If anyone has any suggestions, please let me know. I'm open to any ideas, and I'm probably going to start doing videos for draft too, explaining all the thoughts I have as I go. Um, as the only undefeated, I not only 4-0'd this event, but I'm the winner because there was only 16. So, rather groovy, and that's about it. Thank you again. So there's our win, a couple QPs, a bunch of packs, and even better, a little notice that I am the winner. So, on to the next event.